Well, my friends, it is time for us to look at Feng Shui again and to identify, for those of you who work in an office or own a business and are looking for really good tips for ways to drive business. What is good Feng Shui? And I'm sure that you have seen plenty of bad Feng Shui, just like I have. So welcome. This is Lydia with the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. And on this channel, I often like to read the charts of famous people because I feel like it helps us to better understand our own charts and our own lives. I also cover topics of Feng Shui, Flying Stars Feng Shui, which I really think of as acupuncture for our homes and businesses. So welcome. If this speaks to you, if this sparks an interest, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. So welcome again. All right. This is, as with many of these practices, whether it's Bazi astrology or Feng Shui, there are many this is an onion that you can unpack, unpeel for layers and layers and never get to the bottom of it, never touch everything. So that being said, if you have questions, if I've missed something, please let me know, okay? And your questions, again, are really welcome. But don't, it's not like I'm going to give you a free consultation. Honestly, if you really want the full skinny, you're just going to have to hire me. It's a really awesome investment in your business to better understand how to get the flow going. I'm going to start with a couple stories because I truly believe, if nothing else, we are storytellers. And there is a restaurant in Richmond, Virginia that is very popular, sells out, and yet it has this big problem. And the big problem is, it has a lot going for it. It's a little teeny restaurant nestled in a neighborhood you would normally miss, but it's one of those places where the food is so phenomenal, everybody knows about it. It's on the corner, so you can see it, which is great. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. You can't open the front door because when you go to open it, there is such a suction that it even says on the door, pull really hard. I'm not a fan of signs on doors unless it says welcome, open, clearly states the hours. If it's a restaurant, clearly has the menu. If it's a studio, like a yoga studio, clearly have your schedule right there, or at least some a QR code people can scan to see it, right? So I'm going to go through this as best I can. I can go off on a tangent, so bear with me. This is Business Feng Shui. I am a traditional Feng Shui consultant. I have been practicing this for over 20 years, since 2002. And I do apply form school, flying stars. And ideally, if I am doing, let's say there's two people that own a yoga studio and they want me to feng shui it, I would also do the Bazi astrology of the owners of that business to ensure that they have the right combination of astrology and feng shui, because I have seen it in homes where you're one of the occupants of the home is suffering for the feng shui. I just recently had a client who moved her acupuncture office and did a read on her employee to ensure that she and the woman that she was hiring were going to be compatible, which fortunately they are. And I had the pleasure of going to see this new location and feng shui it for her. so that as she's opening and getting into it, that it is, again, creating the flow most needed for success. So, these are my tips. And I'm going to put this in a blog on my Kharma Khameleon website so that you can also go and read through it. Take notes. This is something that you're interested in. And I don't know how long it's going to be, but I hope you can stick with it till the end. And I'll try to stick chapters in. I'm really not a tech person. I will do my best to put chapters in so that you can jump around as you want also. Okay, here we go. Let's start with the access to your business. How the hell do you get there? And let me just say, before you sign a lease, make sure these tips I'm giving you apply. I don't care how fabulous the neighborhood is. If people can't find you, forget it. All right. So access to your business. Can your customers find your front door? One of my biggest pet peeves, you finally get there, you go to the front door and there's a big sign that says use the other door. Or it's not clearly stated, really embarrassing. You go to pull the door and it's locked. There's people inside looking at you. Awkward, awkward. For me, I'm the kind of person that will immediately second guess if I want to go in now, because everybody's going to look at you. There's the lady that pulled the wrong door. Apparently, she can't read because people just aren't kind. What would be the kind thing? Make sure that the front door is the front door. And if there are other doors, block it. Make it so it doesn't look like a door. I have a really big issue with this. I even had one place, kid you not, where I went to the front door. It says, use the door to the left. All right, so I'm looking, where's the door? Where's the door? So I'm walking to the left. I see another door. That's not it either. It was literally around the corner. And by the time I got to it, now I'm like really irritated. And the next thing is this door has a big sign, watch your step. That's another pet peeve, because if you have to step up to get into your business or step down, you've got a liability right there. Work with the designer to make sure this does not happen. You've immediately eliminated a whole population of people who may not have the ability to step up or step down. Somebody with a walker, somebody with a cane or crutches, it's just like you've got to think ahead of time of all your potential people. For instance, another acupuncture client of mine was looking at an office space, and I said I wouldn't do it, because the office space that she was going to rent in this office complex, and it was an interior office, meant that her clients, most of whom were handicapped in some way or the other, physically handicapped, were going to have to walk down a very long hallway in order to get to the bathroom. There's a long walk from the parking lot down the big long hall to her office, and then all the way back out. And if they have to go to the bathroom in the midst of their treatment, a whole lot of that. And so in the end, she did not take that space. She took one that has the bathroom across from her door. Very accessible, much easier to get in and out of. So that's the thing. When people arrive, it should be obvious how to get in, and the door should move easily. You want that door to open up so that all that beautiful chi flies in. You don't want to step up or down. Another pet peeve of mine is that when you walk into an establishment, you meet a wall. A wall that's glass is scary because how many people are going to walk into it? And again, awkward, embarrassing. Everybody's looking at you. And a solid wall is an obstacle. You might as well say you can't come in. Make sure that that entrance is really inviting and feels easy to access. Nobody wants to walk into an obstacle. Nobody wants to go on a treasure hunt. Where the hell's the front door? All right. The other point that I want to make about the entrance is, can you see it? Right? So, when somebody is trying to locate your office, you want to make sure there aren't bushes, trees, a sign, any kind of impediment or obstacle that is blocking the front entrance. And if you're inside of a building, make sure that in giving directions to potential clients, you are extra clear. It's in building A, suite C on the 3rd floor. The best parking is in this area. Or we highly recommend that you use this parking lot across the street. The cost will be, people need to know and anticipate. For instance, if somebody goes to that parking lot and it's $50 and they don't have it and it's cash only, all these things you want to anticipate. Okay, so we don't want obstructions of any kind getting to the entrance. The best location, unlike a house, the best location is for you to have a corner where people are seeing you. They're driving right at you, right? You can be on the corner. You don't want to be on a small side street. You want a place that's got traffic, literal foot traffic, and also street traffic. Going back to the client I just helped with her relocating of her acupuncture business, she is on the corner. She is, as you come into the office park from the traffic light that's right here, and you come down the driveway, essentially, the entrance, her business is right here. Everyone coming in is going to see her acupuncture office in this business suite complex. The importance of her having very bright, clearly seen signage is so vital, so that people aren't just seeing a building, they're seeing the sign that clearly states who they are. For instance, if her business said blue whales, what does that mean? What does that mean? Make sure the name of your business lets people know something about what you do, right? For instance, I have one business, Knit Ya Living. It's a wellness business with open sky retreats. Kharma Khameleon is where I have my Feng Shui and Bazi astrology. If I were to have a physical storefront, I would need to make sure that in addition to the logo and the name of the business, that I also clearly state what it is. So if you have Blu-ray sunglasses, Blu-ray with your logo, sunglasses. And I know it might sound weird or strange or whatever, but you've got to let people know what the hell it is that you're doing. Okay. So the signage is so important. Parking should be in close proximity to and easy to navigate. And I know that that's a big part of zoning and licensing, is making sure that you have a business that has a parking lot that it can accommodate your number of guests. It's really nice when you go to a parking lot that says parking for this salon only, violators will be towed. That's awesome. It almost makes you feel a little bit special, like, ooh, I get to park here, you know? So traffic should come at your business. You don't want to be in an area of town where people typically don't go, or just doesn't get a lot of street traffic. And so these are things you want to look at. In the same way that if you're moving to a new home, you want to make sure that you go to visit that neighborhood multiple different times. Go on the weekends. Is it full of people mowing their lawn and leaf blowers and chainsaws, and as loud as hell with kids running all over the place, and you don't have kids, you're wanting a quiet environment? Or maybe you do have kids and you're like, yay, lots of kids, lots of noise, we're all up for it. When you're looking at a location, go back multiple times, different times of day, different days of the week. What is the traffic like? If you have a retail store and you want to be open, Monday through Saturday, and you go down there and Saturday it's dead, there is no one down here because it's such a business district, you got to rethink your hours. Maybe we aren't open on Saturday. Maybe instead we stay open later during the week to get all those people coming out of their offices to come to our retail establishment. Think things like that, because otherwise you're just throwing your money away, people just sitting there. All right. The flow of the interior, whether it's a salon, a studio, or a retail shop, or even a restaurant, should have flow. Okay. The front door, easily accessible and can open with ease. Entering should feel welcoming and not awkward or confusing, or certainly not embarrassing. And are you walking into glass? Are you seeing a bathroom as soon as you walk in? Is there a landing space to get a cart or a basket, to place to hang your coat, put your umbrella? Is there someone there to greet me? Is there someone saying, hi, welcome, so good to see you, friend? Do you have an appointment? Have you been here before? Do you have any questions? Are you looking for something in particular? Just let us know. We're so happy to see you today. A true warm welcome. Somebody making eye contact, not looking at their phone, not looking down at their desk, genuinely interacting. The entrance should be well lit and not obstructed by non-essential tchotchke stuff. Like the place you go into that every season is decorated with the hallmark design of that season. You can skip all of that. It just makes for clutter. And keep the area clean, neat, and uncluttered. When I have been in sales my entire life, I'm not kidding. I was a little kid with my best friend Tracy on the streets of Baltimore, coming up with everything we could think of to sell, from brownies and lemonade to little clothespin dolls. I think when I was 12, I started a neighborhood cleaning service where I dragged my mother's vacuum cleaner around, and I actually had one or two clients before my parents found out. We were always coming up with ways to make money. Yeah. I could wax verbose about my very long career in retail. Worked at the Nature Company, worked at Borders Books and Music. I know so much about selling things. I even had a short stint working for MCI long distance. So it's really important that people have access to what it is that they want to buy. Okay. And one of the things that comes to mind when I did have a yoga studio, I loved walking out every morning and sweeping the front walk. And sometimes I kept going the whole block, sweepity sweep, sweep. Gave me an opportunity to say hello to my neighbors. Those are important people. Those are your allies, your neighbors. In the time of a crisis, like for instance, when the tree fell down in the back parking lot and crushed part of the next door neighbor's fence, you need to know these things. You need to know your people. And I used to always take a trash bag and pick up the trash all up and down the street. It says something about your business. It says a lot if the front of your business is neat and tidy and right on either side of you it's trashed. That tells me you only care about yourself. You're not in this community. You're just here for you. Sweep up and down the sidewalk. Get a trash bag. Clean up the street every morning. So when people come into your establishment, whether it's an accounting office or a nail salon or a clothing store, they want to see that it's neat and tidy, not having cigarette butts all over the place. And if you have employees that smoke, they go into the back, all the way to the back alley. And I don't even want to go down that road, but that's a hot mess. But you don't want the cigarette butts certainly out front. So everything nice, neat, and tidy. For retail, the flow should go that you come in, you go to the right, and you go around. And at the left front is the cash register. All right. And it should feel easy for any sized person to move through your aisles, your displays, everything. You want to make sure that the things that you are putting out can't be knocked over or broken. You want to make it really accessible and easy with a good flow. All right. And also making sure that there is clear signage, clear labels, everything priced. No one wants to ask what the price is of something. And accessible. The bathroom should never, ever, 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 ever be at the front of your house, your business. Always, always. You also don't want it in the center. And the best place is in the northeast corner or at the back. It should be clearly marked and labeled, accessible, and dear God, it should be clean, especially the bottom of the toilet, the corners of the bathroom. I notice those things. They tell me a lot about how these people really care. Because for me, that's the dot the I across the T, is that the bathroom is spotless and does not have a smell. I don't want it to smell like nasty Lysol. I don't want it to smell like disgusting air freshener. I want it to just be clean, like bleach. That's a great smell, right? All right. Cleanliness goes beyond the obvious of the business itself, but to also include a spotless bathroom, storefront that is also clean as far as the sidewalk and even the parking lot, if that applies. So if you have dedicated parking where it says this is your parking only, You should send an employee out every day to clean up trash out there, to keep it neat and tidy. Remove things like nails and broken glass or whatever might be out there. All right. Big pause for the moment. Taking a deep breath. How are we doing? A lot of information. Here we go. We are now coming around to the breakdown of coming into the design of the place. Sorry, my brain just totally took a little bubble. Okay. Here we go. The design, 5 elements. So we have wood, water, metal, earth, fire. Okay. When we're looking at the design of a business, we want to design it in accordance with the element that that business is associated with. So that's what we're going to look at first. Let's find out what element you work in. Now, this is the cool thing. When we look at your Bazi astrology, right? And we look at your 5 elements, right? So if I look at, for instance, I'll use my chart. My chart's awful, just saying, right? Okay, so I have a very weird chart. I am a water person, but I am dominant fire. So to the point of which I almost transform into fire, which I personally find very funny. I just, as a fire horse person born in 1966, it feels like, of course, I've transformed into fire. But anyway, so my metal and water are super weak, and my chart is got way too much fire and earth. It's way too hot and dry. Now, ideally for me, I would be in industries that are about supporting me, which would be metal and water. But instead, I chose yoga, working with children, managing a business. These are all fire and earth elements. And now I host retreats out of my home that are a lot of it related to grief, loss, reclaiming the self, these beautiful women's retreats that I do here. And that's an earth element. Also, when I'm singing, that's metal. When I'm meditating and guiding meditation, that leans a little more towards metal because we're using japa, the recitation of mantra. So there are ways that I bring it in, and the practice of making these videos and speaking to you brings in a little of that water element as far as communication. But anyway, the point being that ideally you want your business to support the element you most need for balance in your life. Okay. I obviously have not done that. And some people do that. Some people gravitate towards that which is already an imbalance. And I think for me, I just really identify with fire more than I do with water. I actually have a very intense phobia of dark water. All right, so lots that I could say about my own life. You didn't come here for that. Design, 5 elements. Here we go. Wood. The wood industries are, if you have a bookstore, stationery, publisher, news magazines, florist, herbal supplements like CBD, drugstore, programmer, grocery store, gardening, plants, and a wood supplier, like a tree service. Design of the exterior building that is wood would be any shade of green, a vertical tall skyscraper kind of building, well landscaped exterior with lush plants and flowers. Outdoor furniture, of course, is going to be wood, like a bench. The images, flowers, trees, dragons, rabbits, or family themes. So you can keep all of that in mind if you have this kind of a business. Let's say you have a kids bookstore, really cute little kids bookstore. Maybe you have a trellis outside that has got climbing flowers, and you've put little fairies up there, right? And made it so super cute and fun. With little rabbits, could be so sweet. You incorporate these things. The ideal facing direction for a business that is a wood industry to support your business is north, southeast, and east. Coming to the water element, these businesses are retail sales, a fish store, an aquarium, a seafood shop, boat sales, travel agency, ski resort, a marina, movers, a bar, tarot and psychic person, a tour guide, insurance, communication, swimming pool, and the beverage industry. So design of the exterior building that is for a water industry is any shade of blue or deep purple, a building with flowing lines, water feature or flowing banners, landscaped exterior with lush plantings, outdoor furniture that is either wood or metal. The images can be water, like a water splash, a wave, fish, seashells, starfish, moon and stars, an umbrella, or boats. And the ideal facing direction for a water business is northwest, west, or north. Metal is now, this is the industry for jewelry, hardware stores, a bank, accountant, a law firm, a martial arts studio, a mechanic, car sales, tech industry, a bus depot, a train station, an airport, a government office, acupuncture, or a pawn shop. Design of the exterior of a metal industry building is white, black, or gray. A building with arches, circular, driveway, or a roundabout. Also a building with reflective glass windows and metal structures with a large metal sculpture out front that speaks to your line of work. And the outdoor furniture is obviously metal. Images can be jewelry like a diamond, roosters, birds, dogs, military, or a government, political, military leader. A statue of somebody that's famous out there, or a big clock. The ideal facing directions for a metal industry are southwest, northwest, or west. All right, earth. Earth businesses are hospitals, healthcare or dental care, bakery, pottery, realtor, farmer, miner, crystal shop, hotel, daycare, butcher, renovator, architect or engineer, construction, land management, a yoga studio, massage body work, a dietitian or nutritionist. The design for an earth building is more of a low, boxy looking low store. Not necessarily big box. It could be a big box. Maybe you're the manager of a Best Buy or something. Any earth shade, terracotta, peach, rust, tan, brown, yellow, or chamois. Well-landscaped exterior with succulents, large stones or marble sculptures, a marble building, with columns and outdoor furniture that is metal, images of cows, sheep, ceramic sculptures, tractors, images of health, mountains, cactus, cowboy hat, sandcastle, just editing along here. Sorry. All right. Ideal facing direction for an earth building is south or southwest. All right, there we go. Little editing here. So now we come to the last element, fire. And here we've got the industries of a hair nail salon, a movie theater, restaurants, an opera house, a museum, anything having to do with the arts, from a gallery to Broadway, to movies, to stage, and musicians like singers, designers, fashion industry, fireworks, candle shop, beauty industry, like an Ulta store, life coaches, motivational roles, electronics, oil, gas, fossil fuels, gas station, decorators, lighting, toys, factories, management, fire department, psychiatry, therapy, social services, and the horse industry, like horse racing, establishment, or a stable for boarding horses. The design for fire industry is triangular peaked roofs, neon lights, brick, and any color, fire color like red, violet, orange, hot pink, or rainbow. Well-landscaped exterior with lush plantings, big bright flowers, and outdoor furniture is wood. The ideal facing directions are southeast, east, and south. Amazing, huh? So much information, I know. And, you know, a lot of these lists, you know, it's endless. We could always brainstorm and come up with more, and they could be different depending on if you're in Australia or in Canada or in Venezuela. I mean, you could really, it's going to shift and change a little bit with each one depending on the industries in your area. So for an office situation, you want to ensure that each employee is working in an area of the Bagua that ensures that best supports their role. And also, if you're in a situation, and I've had this happen, where a boss feels that they are being usurped, their power being usurped, their position being challenged, make sure you haven't put a lesser person in a more powerful place in the office. This is the same thing that happens when a child is in the parent's location of the Bagua. For instance, a teenager, a girl that grows into a teenager occupying the Southwest is going to be the challenge of a lifetime for her mother and the parents' marriage. In the same way, if a son grows into a teenager and is in the northeast direction of the home, guarantee it is going to be a challenge with him and his father. And the likelihood of that kid really challenging authority is greater. Got lots of experience with these very things. So, best directions by department. The first is the South is where you have your planner, advertiser, marketer. Southwest, the female boss, secretary, director, admin. The West is your accountant, your female staff. The Northwest, male boss, director, manager. The North is the best place for receptionist, consultant, personnel. And the Northeast, the accountant, the admin, and the realtor. Northeast, I already did that, sorry. East, advertiser and the male staff. Southeast, salesperson, director, and another option for a boss. Now, I want to just mention, because this comes to mind, that it is interesting in some businesses, the boss really doesn't have necessarily one place they hang. For instance, in an acupuncture situation, and even massage, you might be going into different rooms. Maybe you start a massage with this person in this room, and then you have another client in that room, and you might be moving around, and you might even have a little tray that you roll around with you with your laptop for intake information. So sometimes it isn't even so much the room, but maybe the direction that you're sitting in, the way that you're facing could be. So, some of these things, like I said, need to be tweaked depending on the industry and your particular situation. All right. Best direction by purpose. Okay. So the South is the best area for creativity and planning. The Southwest is good for your office, kitchen, and storage. The West is great for sales, a cashier, accounting, and receptionist. The Northwest is good for decision-making, control, and boss. The North is the general area for all employees and staff. The Northeast is the best place for storage, like a computer closet, your bathrooms, your kitchen. That's called the ghost corner, the Northeast. So a lot of times you really don't want anything of importance there. The East is for implementation, the place for the boss of a new business and creativity. The Southeast is reputation, credibility, planning, and sales. So all of this to say, this is the way that you can organize and structure a business. And I know in some inclusive open designs now, there's just one big room, one big table, and everybody's sitting at it, kind of busting out of the days of the confining little cells of cubicles. And even with cubicles, you want to make sure that every cubicle, it's not like everybody's bringing half the stuff from home with them. And it's not full of all this clutter. Keeping it neat and tidy. The thing about, as much as the inclusive collaborative of the big open table and the big open concept is, ensure that it really is the best format for your industry. Because sometimes we really need to have more of our own space. I'm going to put a link for all your feng shui cures. We are affiliated with Feng Shui Mall. I'm going to put the link for you. If you're interested in getting cures, please go to them. I'm going to show you two that are the most important for an office. The office has the 4 animals. Okay. The 4 animals are that when you look out from your desk, it is a clear sight line and there is room for you to expand and grow. Okay. I sit at my desk. To the left is my door. So if anybody comes in, which would be funny because there's nobody here but me and 6 chickens and they're outside, just saying. Nobody's coming in the door, but if there are people here, I clearly see somebody coming in. I'm looking out a window that is a big open field, my backyard into a beautiful field. And I have bird feeders out here because sometimes you probably see my eyes go there and there. It's because I'm seeing a bird. Anyway, love nature. Ideally, you want a strong, tall mountain at your back, which can be a bookcase. It can be filing cabinets. In my case, it's a chimney stack. And you'll see that there's a plant there because I love to infuse a little bit of nature. I've also got a plant over by this window. So, your flow of money comes from the left side. The flow of clients comes from the right side. So check and see what things you have going on there. I use lots of things, including crystals, like a citrine. This is a big chunky one. The citrine is great for business, for bringing in new business. I also like to have my little Ganesha that sits with the citrine on my desk. Your desk should be nice and tidy. On the upper left corner, two best cures for your office. The dragon, the brass dragon, you put it up on the left. So I usually keep mine on the windows, the top of the window ledge. This gives you longevity, power, and influence. If you're going into a meeting, you put this in your left pocket or in your bag. Put the bag on the table where you're speaking on your left. Awesome. Feng Shui Mall, best cures, best quality, best prices. Love them. 3 immortals in no particular order. These dudes sit at your back. So I have these guys up on the mantle over there. And these guys are my turtle support, offering blessings of all measure and kind. And so those 3 immortals and the brass dragon are crucial to ensure that I am blessed, that I have support, and that I am successful. And that I stay in my job for a long time, for as long as I choose. Again, your comments and questions are welcome. There is so much more that you can add to these videos as far as all the information, but I think I've given you just about as much as I possibly could without making this even longer. But again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you want, join the membership and start helping me to build this community. Until next time, friends, please be well.